Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Ground Podcast. I am your host Avnish Naik with Vedant, of course. So, Vedant, we do talk about football a lot on this channel, but we are also cricket fans. Although many may not call us hardcore cricket fans, but at least we are, and we have a jersey as well. And we didn't decide to wear this jersey, but we still wore it.
Yeah,
Um, Today's question, though, is is IPL less exciting or boring in some clickbaity words? But the question is because I haven't watched an IPL game and now we are on to the final.
yeah,
And I have a few reasons why I haven't watched IPL games. It's not because of some kind of a revolt, but it's mostly because of the lack of excitement for myself. But that's what I want to discuss because I can have a very one-dimensional view on all of this. Turns out you also haven't watched an IPL game. So why are we here? Why are we talking about IPL? Who gives us the right to talk about IPL and cricket? We are just two football fans, people may say. Well, I have a mic, and that's why we can talk about it.
yeah,
But okay, jokes aside, another reason is I am a cricket fan. I'm not just a guy who likes and watches India in the final, but I am actual cricket fan because I also watch test matches and I have went to test matches to watch those games. I have been a cricket fan since I think a lot of my generation will have the similar story where you started watching the 2007 T20 World Cup and
yeah,
India somehow won it, and then you became Indian fans, and then you started to like MS Dhoni, and Tendulkar was at the end of his career, although he did go on to play 7 years more. And then came the 2011 World Cup, which was like a spectacular celebration of winning a major ICC, the most coveted ICC trophy after 28 years under MS Dhoni, last World Cup for Sachin Tendulkar, where he passed the baton to Virat Kohli, and I think that's how this beautiful journey began. Then coming of age of Virat Kohli, taking us to the top of the Test championship rankings, changing the game of Test matches, and then came this modern era where we didn't win anything though. We played so well. We had one of the best teams in almost every single World Cup, but we didn't win it. After the 2011, 2013 Champions Trophy, we didn't win a lot of things, but it was there. We came close. We were called chokers. A lot of people then stopped believing that India will again win something, but then came this dominating era where we just changed the way we played, and there was a big transition from having this conservative approach where we used to win a lot of bilateral series because our top order used to score a lot of runs and win us games. But then when it came to knockouts, what if the top order didn't perform? Our bottom order, middle order didn't have that kind of an experience to carry the team. So we changed it all. We went extra aggressive in bilateral series. We made sure that our middle order and our lower order are exposed enough before a major tournament. So if something happens, they are still able to carry us. We got those kind of players, Hardik Pandya, for example, Akshar Patel. We got these all-rounder players, and then we were ready. We were set for this ultimate T20 World Cup after such a long time, after 2007, hadn't won it, embarrassed a couple of years ago when England actually won the semi-final without without losing a wicket
yeah,
against us. And then we went to US, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma last World Cup. Somehow won it. Virat Kohli almost, I think, 70, 71 runs throughout the tournament, scored 76 or 74, 76 in the final. And last, this David Miller catch won us the T20 final. And this was the third big chapter of Indian cricketing history where it was successfully shown to the world that we have changed our approach and now we can win big trophies. And then came the second World Cup where we came and just won it and scored around 250 runs in the final. And it was as if, okay, there isn't a massive celebration. What is happening? Because India, for the first time, is actually dominating ICC tournaments the way Australia used to when they won 3 World Cups in a row, when they were everywhere, they were just winning all the time. But now, somehow, this victory doesn't feel like it's that glorious, that grand, even though it is one of the most dominating performances in the history of ICC tournaments. And then came this big wave, or not then, but it was like running parallelly when IPL was transitioning into a 220, 240 plus scoreline tournament where batters were given complete freedom. SRH and KKR were the first ones to lead the line. Then a lot of teams followed. And then now cricket is all about going out there, expressing yourself every single ball and trying to get as many runs as possible. And to aid that, we are trying to change the physicality of the ground itself. So, this is where we all are right now. And this is the context as to what is happening to IPL, one of the biggest tournaments in the world, started in 2008 and completely changing BCCI, completely changing Indian cricket because let's face it, it brought in money that can be invested into so many things and gave exposure to our players. And now we are here at like a top three nation every single year, which was not really something that we used to do previously before 2010. So, my question to you now will be you have also experienced this journey, maybe not match by match, but overall as an outsider, as a sports fan. What made you stop to watch IPL this season?
Uh, Honestly, there is, I didn't actually think a lot about it. I didn't watch last year's IPL that much as well. I've just lost interest over the
Why
years.
is that?
I don't know.
Why the lack of interest?
I don't know. Obviously, the main thing for me is because I don't have a favorite team in the tournament. Like probably everyone else does. I used to, earlier just support when we had Pune's team. We obviously used to support them. But after that, I've never had like one favorite team. Like people have CSK, people follow Mumbai Indians. Because of whoever like Shah Rukh Khan, they follow Kolkata Knight Riders, and everyone almost has their own team, but I've never sort of had that one team apart from Pune in IPL. I used to just keep changing every season for the sake of it. But I don't know, I was just never really that invested in the IPL over the last 2 to 3 seasons, but I still used to watch the games. I still used to follow whatever happened, but this season I just haven't watched or haven't just been interested to watch any game.
Yeah.
I've just been, kind of I've checked the scores. I won't lie. I've been checking the scores on the app, but that's about it. I haven't been able to like properly watch a complete game. I don't know.
I think if you are a football fan, you will. I think it's we are all tribal fans. I think a lot football fans, a lot of them. You pick a team, it doesn't like I don't know. Rarely people will switch teams because the team is doing
Yeah.
poorly. I mean, if you bring in Pune Warriors India again, I'll still support Pune. It doesn't matter to me if they
Yeah.
finished last for the entirety of their history or like future entirety of their future in IPL. And that tribalism, I think, also obviously made me really sad that Pune, we don't have Pune's team anymore. But I still, like you said, I used to watch at least some matches because, again, there was a second team in RCB. Like, I always supported RCB. There was a third team in KKR. I liked KKR initially. So there was this. So I used to watch RCB games. Virat Kohli was one of the biggest reasons, obviously, that I used to watch his batting because I always wanted him to do well. Then came Jasprit Bumrah, and then there were these amazing players coming up. So I watched IPL for the players. But this season, like you said, I think the main reason for me is the 250 plus scores that are happening. I was just checking the scores, recent scores. 8 out of 10 matches have had 200 plus scores, at least in one innings. And it's not like I don't need to present any stats because everyone knows that even a 220, 230, if you are like 16 overs, you are already reached 200. It feels like it's not going to be enough because we have seen these big totals being chased as well. Now the complexity is, I can easily be someone who to say, yeah, I mean cricket is ruined, and look at the cricket of the old, and that was real cricket, and this is just entertainment. But I'm not that type of a person. I do feel that sport has to evolve as the world is evolving, because sports is fundamentally entertainment, and it has to give some kind of a product to people, so they watch it, they gain money, and then maybe that sport can do something else that no one actually watches, but they can fund that. I mean, for example, in football, Premier League teams are kind of forced to invest in women's football because they can write off whatever losses they incur in their men's team by showing that we are investing in youth and women's football. So it's kind of, yeah, you need to give something to people, so you get a lot of money and then you can invest it somewhere else. So obviously IPL is that. IPL is going to bring in a lot of money, so you have to give people what they want. But I think for a specific fan base who are, like I said, maybe born in 2000s, maybe in 1990s, who have seen cricket of the highest order, when it's not just about the batter, it was also about the bowler, it was also about the fielders. Maybe that interest is reducing a bit, because now all we see is players coming up and smashing and aiming at 250, and the ballers actually don't get a lot of ammunition, because the pitches are designed in that way, where it's very important that pitch kind of gives something to the bowler, so that the ball will maybe swing or maybe seam, or maybe there is some kind of an unpredictability, so that the batter is not just coming up and swinging his bat. And although I'm not saying that pitches are the only reason. Obviously, a big reason is that kind of a freedom that teams are giving players. And earlier on, the mentality was that the openers will be aggressive, but the middle order batter will kind of continue to just score runs. And then the last 5 overs will be aggressive. But the message is very clear that if you want to win games, you have to be aggressive throughout 20 overs. And that's what is also that complexity is that although we have the most exciting pool of batters in Indian history, where a 15-year-old, 16-year-olds, 20-year-olds are smashing it against international bowlers, their technique, the way they are structuring their innings, and the mentality is something that we haven't seen before. But having said that, a 200 plus score in every match, 80% of the matches, if you just go by the recent 10 matches, it's somehow reducing the importance of the sport, but just giving the importance of, okay, who comes up and smashes boundaries. It's obviously very difficult. Not every single batter can do it, but a lot of batters can do it. All the teams almost have 2 to 3 batters now who can do it, and some of the oldies like Rajat Patidar in I think in the eliminator also scored a 19, 30, 30 odd deliveries. He's also now doing it. Virat Kohli is obviously now doing it. Everyone is targeting that 200 plus score, 200 strike rate. That's shifting the importance to, okay, force yourself to admire and love the way batters are performing more than, are you a fan of cricket? Do you like when a bowler is not is not someone who you can just smash 4 runs very easily or a six very easily because the ball is not doing anything, but it's a dangerous kind of a bowler who you have to kind of respect, and a 8 runs against him is somehow a very equal thing and very good thing that you are able to do. So that's what has made me just not watch it, because I don't like it. Honestly, I don't like to see every single ball going for a boundary or a six. And obviously that's not the case, not every single ball, but on average bowlers are giving obviously 15, 16, 18 runs. And if you if there's a bowler who just gave 12 runs in an over, it's like, oh, he he actually could be, this could be the changing over. Like, yeah. So yeah, that's the thing for me. That's why I just can't watch it now.
I think personally, what I feel is like you have to probably go into the crux of the IPL, what it is about, or what it has always been about. And for me, uh, I don't know. I just have always felt that IPL has been more of an entertainment product than a pure cricketing product. And I'm not talking about the 20 over format. I'm purely talking about IPL. The 20 over format is obviously what the game has evolved into because people like to watch the shorter format, and because I've also like in my work, I've also been following chess and working. So there is also this debate there that nowadays there is this new format of chess which is different than the traditional format, and the game is evolving. It's becoming time-based. There is like a 10-minute format at the Esports World Cup, at the Esports Nations Cup, and it is becoming more quicker. And people of traditional formats hate this new. There is this ongoing debate which people talk about that this new format is good, this old format was good, or whatever. That debate is there. So I think it is not about the 20 over format, it is about the IPL league, the like the overall product in general for me. Earlier, like obviously when we were small, it was the earliest memories of watching IPL would be like because it used to start during your exam, the final exam period. It used to be like, you study for your exam, then you watch IPL in the afternoon sometimes, then in the evening. Then after your exam gets over, you can completely watch it full time. You can, talk with your friends. You have these new franchises. You have all of the best players playing across the world playing in this one league. But over the years, I think I've realized that IPL as a league is also a huge source of, I mean, cricket in general as well, any sport for that matter. But IPL also is a very huge source for betting, for gambling, as we know. And the ban on fantasy league platforms like Dream 11 and all of those other platforms has also what led to the overall decrease in viewership in overall IPL this season. So I think that is also what makes a huge part of the league. It's
Mhm.
entertainment, it's gambling, it has been superstars owning the franchises, and fixing has also been a part of it because two teams like Chennai, Rajasthan, they were
Yeah,
banned
and
for two
I think
years.
like yeah, I think just
Yeah,
one part. I think that's why I think IPL is also like hoping that because the confusing thing for me, like you said, like it's not a T20 format that's doing this and stuff. So there are going to be two kinds of fans, right? First
yeah.
is who is a cricket fan in is quite neutral for almost all the teams. Just okay. So there are two kinds of fans. One is going to be a cricket fan who watches IPL for fun and entertainment. The second is
Yeah.
going to be like this hardcore team supporter, and there are a lot of people who support Mumbai RCB. Like I don't know Gujarat Titans. I don't think Gujarat anyone outside of Gujarat would support Gujarat Titans. It's not a big enough team still, but. I mean, it's good. They have to bank on that as well, right? Like people will watch their team more than maybe all of the games, but they will watch it and look at the I mean, look if their team does well, because I do think that the cricket fans have sort of lost a bit of an interest because what they're just seeing is, you know, kind of net session thing where you have a
Yeah.
maybe a ball machine and someone is
And
coming
I
and
think even compared to football, what happens is cricket has always been this nation first, team later kind of a sport for us fans, whereas football has always been like teams first because the World Cup, the Euros, they come probably like once in 4 years. I think the Euros are once in 2 years, or they are also in once in 4 years, the major tournaments I'm talking about. What goes on throughout the season is this club-based format. But cricket sort of doesn't have that. You either have the countries, like the 8 to 10, 12 popular countries playing throughout the year in bilaterals and other formats. And then the World Cup obviously is the biggest prize. And after that, there is no franchisee league structure for even, I mean, as far as I know, there is no franchisee league structure for a 50 over format or for a test cricket sort of a format, it only exists for 20 overs, right? So pure, like as you said, there are these fans, maybe like you, who probably like to watch uh test cricket more, who probably love the game and don't like this evolving format. I think maybe if there was a franchisee type of a structure like we have for football, you have the Champions League, you have the Premier League, we have the Bundesliga, we have the Europa League. There are all these different types of tournaments that you can follow as a fan. But as an Indian fan, you either just watch the IPL or you watch the Indian team play. You probably don't even watch the other, unless you're like a really hardcore fan, you don't watch
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Ashes, stuff like that. So I think that is one of the main reasons what, like, there is no the middle ground for this. It's either you watch this very serious high format, like, very serious, where everything is like, high stakes format, where the national team is competing. And then there is directly something like the IPL, which is, as you mentioned throughout the episode, which is like more, as I said, it's more focused on entertainment. As you said, it is more focused on runs. And there is no middle ground for, I think, cricket fans, which exists as of now. And that is why this problem
And ODI
comes for
used to
you.
be that format, right? Middle
Yeah.
ground, or one day
But ODI
internationals.
has also
That's
lost its charm as well. Like, people are
yeah.
saying the format is dying. I don't believe in it, but people are still saying the format is dying and stuff like that. But I think IPL, like when you go from watching the Indian team directly to the IPL, which is sort of an entertainment league, for me personally, as I said, even the rules there have been favoring the batsman, because as you already said, the pitches are made to score more runs. I think the boundaries are also really short, like the Wankhede Stadium, the Chinnaswamy Stadium, even the Dharamshala Stadium. All of these boundaries are really short. I think there are two new balls that are used. 8 overs of the 20 overs are power play. That is like half of the game in itself. And on top of that, they've also introduced the impact player, which allows teams to focus more on their attacking, like batting strength, sorry, and they can optimize accordingly. And now, like, batsmen treat every over like what do you say, a power play. Like, they're just
Yeah.
instructed to go out and hit
And
the ball as much as possible.
yeah, yeah, and again, so if we um sort of, so I want to make clear that I'm not talking about 250 scores are so unrealistic, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah,
Because when the T20 format was introduced, the same thing was said by the then fans, like, oh, people are scoring 150 runs, which is like just smashing the bowlers. There's nothing for the bowler, because earlier on, ODI scores used to be 230, 240 used to be like a
yeah,
brilliant score. And you're like, oh, okay, this match could go anywhere. And then obviously, if you score 200 in 20 overs, it was like, this is kind of crazy now, because 200 unbelievable, the skills of the batters. But then obviously there were skeptics who would obviously say, so I'm not coming from there and saying that 250 scores is like unbelievable, and it's ruining cricket. That's not ruining cricket, I think. And nothing is like ruining cricket, it's
yeah,
ruining the experience for fans.
yeah, yeah,
Is that the game has been made that way? And I
yeah,
think the pitches, the main reason is that the flat pitches that have been um uh, uh, structured in almost every team, because the teams have kind of found out that this is the only way now we are going to win. Because if we don't have players who are able to chase down a 260 target, we are not going to get anywhere, because the pitches are going to be that. And it's, you can't have like a team who are very skillful but can't cross 160 strike rate, your at least your top order. And maybe you can win some games if you construct your pitch that way, your home pitch that way. But then what about the other 7 games? And you can't just bank on, okay, we'll win all the 7 games at home, and then even if we lose, we'll maybe get over the line and go into the playoffs. But when you go to the playoffs, what then? What if the pitch is going to support those players who are going to express themselves throughout the overs? You don't have those players. So obviously every single team is now going for that, and I think this is like just a phase where we are here now. Okay, what is the frontier? What is next now? Who is going to make sure that I come up with something that tackles this issue that's coming up in IPL, where the only thing we can now do is go out there and try to hit every single delivery. What's the next strategy for it? And that's why it feels like we are stuck a bit. And that's why, even though the players who are able to achieve these magnificent milestones, and again, the 16-year-olds and the 20-year-olds, it's crazy. Like Ayush Matre for CSK, obviously, Suryavanshi, and even like Jaiswal was a big thing. He still is a big thing because he's still so young, and these players are batters are achieving incredible things, but at the same time it's just causing a bit of a itch in cricketing fans by saying, I mean, is it something that we want now in cricket? Is it, or do we want to see something more? Do we want to see some more element? Because at this point, what if we just replace bowlers and just see if we put in an AI bowling machine and who can score more runs against it? I mean, what's differentiating that now? And again, I'm not saying that every single game is going to be that, and I'm not saying that the ballers don't matter now. Ballers, of course, matter, and ballers have to also now reinvent themselves. You can't just now trust yourself on slower deliveries, or you have to kind of get line and length every single time, really, really, consistent way. Obviously, you can also assign a bit of a blame to bowlers, like where is that quality? Even if it is a flat pitch, you can still be that bowler who takes wickets and who doesn't give a lot of scores. Like, then are we going to also, why aren't we questioning the quality of the overall bowlers? Has it reduced? Because it's not like there weren't batting pitches ever in cricket. There, of course, was. So all of this though, like I don't have the answers. I'm not trying to seek answers, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying that all of this is just resulting in this fatigue, maybe. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
And earlier, like as you said earlier, when it started, 150 probably seemed like a high score. And then it came to 200. And then there was always like that mental barrier that, hey, 200 to 220 probably is the highest
mm,
score that we can imagine. But then obviously Sunrisers Hyderabad, KKR, I think 2 or 3 years ago, 2 or 3 seasons ago, they just smashed that mental barrier. They started scoring 250, 270, 280 consistently. Where I remember during that season, people were waiting for SRH to score 300. It never happened. But yeah, well, like once that barrier was broken, every team just started adopting the same strategy. Every team just started thinking that, hey, if they have done it, we can do it as well. And every team just started going, we should, the ideal target is 250. And then came this season when teams like Punjab have actually even chased 250 and 60. So now, as you said, the answer is like the question is what's next, because either then you start break that either you break that barrier as well and then target 300 and 350. That is where the sport might be heading, where probably only the batsmen are going to rule, and the only way to win games is to just like score more runs than your opponent, and not just focus on how to get your opponent like all out. The focus will be just on outscoring each opponent.
yeah.
So yeah, I think maybe that is where
And
the problem lies, that maybe there needs to be more innovations in the sport, like how there have been
mm,
uh, ones for batsmen, there maybe can be ones for bowlers, or
yeah,
there maybe just can be additions or subtractions to the rules which just make it more
yeah, we
entertaining.
can.
But it cannot keep staying this way, as you said, because people like you will just probably get bored eventually and not watch, because uh, anyway, because of the ban on the fantasy gaming platforms, the viewership has already reduced, as we've seen this season. And if this continues this way, maybe even the hardcore watchers will just find it boring. And you can't even imagine when the franchisee players like Kohli or even Dhoni or Bumrah, when these guys leave, you also have to think about,
Yeah,
whether these many fans will actually continue following the
Yeah, and
team or
that's
not.
why CSK is so desperate to keep MS Dhoni somehow connected with them. I think the news was today that they were saying that we want Dhoni in some kind of a capacity, whether it's
Yeah,
coach, whether it's a mentor, because obviously, like RCB, MI, and CSK banked on Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, MS Dhoni for like 10, 15 years, and obviously they are now looking for the next superstars. I think one thing that you said was quite, I think, good, that we need to now maybe see franchise cricket in a very separate way than what cricket was. And I do understand that franchise cricket is from where players are picked for international cricket. So I think the ICC has to decide what is going to now get priority, because obviously the message is very clear for from international teams as well, like go in IPL and smash it all around and you'll get
yeah,
into the team, because obviously India and England and Australia, they are adopting this strategy of going aggressive, and obviously Australia always had that, but now it's forcing the issue. It's the this phase is also forcing Australia to look at their teams and say, are we aggressive enough? Are we now capable enough of handling our team in this phase, or win something in this phase? Um, so we may need to change something, and that could be okay. A bowler or a bowling side can take one over where every dot ball is -2 runs, for example, and I mean, do this kind of a thing to get the something back to the other side as well. One
and there
thing
is
again,
also like, just to reiterate on your point, I personally also feel that they need to, like, not to compare, but when I think of it, because we follow football a lot, like, when I think about it, international players, right? IPL needs to make the league more than just about money and entertainment. Like, winning the trophy should actually matter to the
yeah,
players as
means
well.
something. Yes, yes, yes.
Because when you look at even football, like when I am seeing even Arsenal won the league, players like Hincapié, who is on loan from Bayer Leverkusen, players like Miles Lewis Kelly, Gabriel, who represent different countries, winning this league actually means so much to them that they will, and this is for all players who play for clubs which are not even in their own country. Someone coming from Brazil, Argentina, US to play for the Premier League, to play in La Liga, winning the league with Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern, whoever they play for, is actually such a big accomplishment for them that they include it in one of the biggest honors at the end of their careers. Like, you ask them, what is the biggest thing that you achieved in your career? Many of them will say the league that I won, or even the love that I get from the fans from these teams in completely other countries they're not even born in. That's not the case with IPL. Like, international players are just here for the money. And even if you ask any player, none of them is ever going to say that winning the IPL 4 times, 3 times,
Yeah,
2 times was one of the biggest achievements of my career. They will
yeah.
always keep their national team above, because that is also because of how cricket is structured. But I think,
I was going to say the same thing. The
yeah, yeah,
cricket is an, like you said in the start of the episode, cricket is an international game. That's why IPL is always going to be something that they use to express themselves and have fun. But
yeah.
then the international is something that they always crave for
Yeah.
in
So
international.
either now we have to understand the difference, that this is just entertainment, view it for entertainment purposes,
Yeah,
don't take it seriously. And then if you want people to take it seriously, then make it serious as a product where people
yeah.
value winning it more than the money or the entertainment that they get throughout the season. That is what I personally
Yeah,
feel.
that is an excellent point. I think that I was coming to that, where I was going to say that yes, so the cricket fans have to view cricket in a very different way when they're watching different products. So, like you said, if you're watching IPL, then I think I shouldn't care about the bowling or cricket, and if the cricket, it's a very different thing. It's a cricket tournament, but played in a bubble where they have their own rules, they have their own agenda, they have their own sort of targets and goals, where what they want to show, and that's it. That's the entertainment thing. So For example, if I want to watch serious cricket, maybe then I should go and watch the domestic Vijay Hazare that maybe comes up
Yeah,
sometimes on Hotstar, or maybe a Ranji Trophy that
Ranji Trophy.
sometimes
Yeah,
comes up, or like the Sheffield Shield, or but then if I want to watch like this complete entertainment package where we just need to see who scores the most runs, then maybe IPL is that for you. And then that's why I wouldn't mind if then IPL comes up with different rules and different things. Like I
yeah.
said, that
I think there is
minus
a
runs for every dot balls.
league called the 100 as well, which has
Yeah, in
some
England, yeah,
different rule. I don't know what exactly it is. I've just
just
read up
100
on it.
balls. The difference is they will
Yeah.
have 100 balls. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's something like that. I mean, if you're just marketing it for entertainment, make it like that instead of, then fans will just watch it from that lens. Like how there are hundreds of these, uh, tennis ball leagues, this Legends League that is constantly going on. And I think that is also one of the reasons, like we didn't address it, but there are so many leagues in India that are like going on this Legends League, this Celebrity League, and all of it. Sort of creates some sort of a fatigue maybe for fans following all of these different teams, different players, and then
and
franchisees like Mumbai Indians have their teams in different global leagues, right? And I think England and South Africa, I don't exactly know, but they have these different teams in different other leagues as well. So yeah, that is also one thing that I have heard from cricket fans, that it just gets probably at
yeah.
times too much or too follow.
And I think, yeah, like you said, if they want to make sure that IPL maybe is watched also by some serious cricket fans, and like you said, I mean, they need to then make IPL as this a very prestigious thing, and it's not going to happen unless ICC makes a decision of the future of cricket, where it is going to go. And I think the stakes have to be high. What's happening, or what has happened in cricket and what has worked for cricket, is that firstly it got popular in India, so it always had crazy amount of views even in the 2000s and the 1990s. And obviously we know the story of how 1983 World Cup really helped in this way. And that's why it didn't matter even if it was a bilateral series, which actually means nothing. It meant something for our pride. It meant something to defeat Australia, to defeat England. And then now I'm not saying that it doesn't matter if we defeat Australia, but like you said, that there is so many individual battles that happen all around the world. It's international. Obviously, we play T20 World Cup every 2 years. That's, I think, firstly a big
Yeah,
fatigue that comes up. That okay, we haven't even recovered from the previous thing. But then comes the ODI World Cup as well, and then there's the WTC Championship as well, and then there's IPL, of course, every single year, where we obviously now we saw Virat Kohli and Travis Head collide, and that's like mini India versus Australia, because we know that we associate individuals with our country. I mean, we still see people feel a bit good when you hear, oh, the CEO of the two biggest tech companies are Indian origin. Even if we say that, it's like people immediately like light up and they say, yeah, I mean, look at my country
yeah,
producing all this talent, but they are US citizens. They are not Indian citizens. But it does matter. So like Rajat Patidar or like Suryavanshi hitting a six to Pat Cummins is like a mini India versus Australia thing for a lot of people. And then that's why I think we're seeing it everywhere. So I think ICC has to make sure where it is heading. Is it going to be franchise, where franchise is going to lead the way, and then international cricket is going to be sort of limited, and then World Cups are going to be the main thing for international cricket? Or if you realize that no, people are still glued to international cricket, and that's the identity maybe we can have even against the sports that are coming up, because somewhere down the line you can't just keep on hoping that the love for cricket is going to uh, just going to be passed on to generations by the current fans. New fans and new urban generations, they're going to go somewhere else if they don't quite find it attractive, don't quite find it very encouraging, engaging. They're going to go to F1, they're going to go to like kabaddi, they're going to go to football maybe as well. And everyone is competing in that sense. So e-gaming is also on the rise, like I think for the last 5 6 years. So cricket is obviously it's going to have to compete, and that reality is going to come in where if they kind of lose the interest of Indians and the new generation is not watching cricket, is going to be chaos and it's going to be panic in
Yeah.
ICC where we're losing revenue. Indians are not watching cricket. So I do really think that they have to like select a direction. And I would love it if it is international cricket, but it won't happen because IPL is so big now. So that's kind of it. And
And I also like
yeah,
the one thing I also feel that, maybe introducing some sort of a, not, I wouldn't say like a promotion relegation thing, because for a 2 month tournament that really wouldn't make sense. But just something like 1 month prior to the IPL, you have like these 10 teams, because IPL is so big, any investor would be willing, like any big company would be willing to own a franchise. Like you have Pune, you have so many other cities across India. Maybe just include 10 teams, make them play 1 month of maybe league action, whichever are the top two teams and whichever are the bottom two teams of last season's IPL. Maybe they fight, and then the top two teams do not play in that IPL. Sorry, the top two teams end up playing that season's IPL. The bottom two teams do not, and next season they again get the chance. Like, something to increase the competitiveness, because we've seen all of these years there are like three teams which haven't won the league. I think four teams now which haven't won the league, and there are like three teams who have been consistently winning it. So maybe adding this competitiveness might also bring in new fans from the smaller cities, because you're giving them their own teams to cheer for. Someone like me, I would be cheering for Pune.
I am always surprised as to why. I mean, obviously because IPL is working so far, that's why there's no need to try to expand it and get into communities. But I mean, if you have like you said, like these smaller teams as well who compete each year
Yeah,
to get into IPL, it's kind of fun because you get to support the local team and you get to hope that you get there one day. But I mean, again, it's very realistic. If you look at from the point of view of a cricket fan, I mean, it is going to be very unrealistic. There's no going to be divisions and relegation promotion.
yeah,
We haven't experienced it ever in cricket, except England fans because their county championship has promotion relegation. But it's like it doesn't matter to them. It's like a very domestic competition. So but I do think where promotion relegation could work, and I always thought we can change international cricket into that, is have a table of 20 teams, the top 20, which will be Division 1, who compete with each other for 2 years, like the this ICC World Test Championship.
WDC, yeah.
And they will have to play like the UCL format. They will have to play compulsory 8 teams or like 10 teams in 2 years and have five T20 games series with 10 teams. So it's like 50 games in every 2 year. The top eight will go to play a knockout tournament, which is anyways 2 years we have a World Cup. So they
Yeah,
will go and play a knockout tournament and try to win the knockout tournament trophy, which will obviously also be a very like a FA Cup thing. So that will be a cup,
yeah,
and then whoever wins the league will also get a trophy. And the bottom two or bottom three will go to Division Two, when there will be 11th to 21st to 40th teams, because a total of I think 97 or something teams play T20I cricket right now. So second division can be that. In those second division, according to current rankings, I think there will be this Papua New Guinea and other teams, and they will have an opportunity to win and qualify for the first division and then eventually play the knockout tournament if they somehow get into it. But they will have an incentive to
yeah.
do better, and then there will be regional tournaments. So the third division is basically combined Africa division, Australia division, Oceania division, Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Europe, and
Middle
the
East.
five winners of those leagues will be going to the division two and whatever. But then that gives a meaning to international cricket. And
Yeah,
then you can do the same with ODI as well. You can do it parallelly. We can maybe also see how Shubman Gill is transferred, played the first half of the T20I season with Indian team, but then was shifted to ODI team because India needed someone over there. I mean, we can do a lot of these things,
Yeah.
but again, I mean,
I,
it's
I mean,
far-fetched
the
idea.
thing is that the leagues in India, like ISL, you take ISL, you take IPL, these are based on the US formats, right? Like there is no league system. Like there is a league system, but it is followed by the playoffs. But the thing with the US leagues, like the NBA, the NFL, the NHL, is that those are, even the MLS for that matter, those are divided into Eastern and Western conferences, and each of them have a lot of teams. Whereas in India, where we have the chance to make so many teams and invite them, we just have these, like, that is also cricket, that has also been cricket's problem, that there have been always these few teams that have always been playing in international tournaments. Obviously that is increasing, they're expanding the formats now, but over the years that has been the problem, and that is also the problem with IPL as well. There are limited number of teams and the format is so simple. Like as you mentioned, this table right now of three, it sometimes if you make it more complex, you may involve more teams, it becomes even more exciting because teams have something to play for. Right now it's just, I mean, obviously teams have the trophy to play for, but it's just so simple and it's dull. They need to reinvent it, they need to add some complexity, they need to add more teams uh to get maybe more fans like me interested into the league. And that is that should be the most simple and basic first steps, is to just add more teams, because there is no shortage of businessmen or investors or big corporations.
Yeah.
We like, you don't have lack of interest from them. Like even when the bidding for RCB was happening, team Glazers, who are the owners of Manchester United, they were bidding from outside the country. So obviously you don't have lack of that. So why don't, like, just expand it and make it more interesting? I think that should be the most
But I
basic
think
step.
again, like I don't want to like I don't want to put you on the spot, but I feel that you are, and myself as well, because I also used to think a lot about why not expand, why not have two divisions, why not like connect
No, no, I'm not.
everything in
I'm
a
not
way.
saying in two divisions. I'm just saying in the current
Yeah,
phase itself,
got it. But
add
like if
maybe
you
more teams. Yeah,
Yeah, if but I do think that if you add more teams, then you have to expand the tournament for 4 months because you can't relentlessly have. I mean, people do get bored over here in India. I mean, I do feel that if IPL goes on for 4 months, no one will watch it for the first 1 or 2 months. Hardcore fans will obviously watch it, but then after that, they won't quite watch it, and then they'll watch it the end of the season because I mean, I just feel that if you have a lot of other cricket, it's going to happen. But like you said a long time
but
ago in this episode,
in
if
that case, I think you can reduce that by keeping two games per day, like
yeah, but
one
I'm
in the
saying that
afternoon,
you
one in the
are
evening.
you are looking at it from a lot from a footballing brain, and it really works in football, but it doesn't work in cricket because the community is not shaped that way. I'm not saying the idea is wrong. I'm saying that the
Yeah,
community is not shaped in that way, is not wired in that way. We were born in a system of football, and this is how it works. If suddenly they decide to change it and have some different format, we may not be interested in that, right? So I think it requires that wiring. So if you want to do that with cricket, it has to be in a such a slow manner where
yeah,
you're
obviously.
targeting like the third generation to actually get the format, and then they will be interested enough. So I mean, yeah, so all of these problems, and but now coming to the actual thing, I do feel that these are not the problems yet because IPL is still making a lot of money. Cricket BCCI is still making a lot of
Yeah,
money. Only I think the skeptics or someone who really look at sport in a very different way are maybe questioning what is going to happen. But a lot of people, I don't think they care enough, and they look at it as an entertainment thing. And especially if you look at the diversity India has in terms of economic backgrounds, I think, I mean, no one actually cares this much about where the sport is heading. They just care about getting out there, sitting in front of the TV or screens, or sometimes even while driving a rickshaw. I get very scared when they start watching a match while driving me, but they do that. But, anyways, um, yeah, so the main question was is it boring right now? But I think after discussion, I feel a lot clear. I think I need to change the way I look at IPL, and then if the things that I don't like in IPL start to happen very consistently in the format that I actually like to watch, which is maybe ODI and test matches, and then I sort of don't like that, then maybe it's the right way, right time to say where is cricket heading and is it getting boring. But yeah, I agree to a lot of your points there. Yeah, I'm done. Is there any other point you
No,
want
I
to
think, yeah, I
talk
think
about?
that's about.
We decided that it will be a mini episode, and it went on for 50 minutes. So I don't think that we should do mini episodes anymore, because it's not going to happen for us if we get into
One
something.
day it'll happen.
Yeah,
One day.
maybe. Like I can't imagine talking 15 minutes, and it still feels as though we haven't talked much
Yeah.
deeper kind of way, and we're just scratching the surface of what we feel. But hey, listen, if you like this episode, we have a lot of things coming up, because we are getting all these questions all of a sudden after 5 or 6 years of just doing this, and we're getting questions like, does Virat Kohli actually love cricket, or he just loves what cricket gives him? I think it was such an amazing question you asked me. Would you ever see Virat Kohli playing gully cricket, and what could be the reasons behind it? Why, if he doesn't, or if you feel that he will play? Obviously, a lot of footballing questions coming up as well. Where can Lampard hold up in the Premier League? And what is the reason if Arsenal managed to win the Champions League? What is the reason England dominated Europe this season? We have World Cup coming up. So many questions, so many questions. So thank you, Vedant, and I hope that you will keep on joining me to discuss these random questions
ob-
that we have. And all right, if you like this episode, do subscribe and comment. We got two very negative comments on our Arsenal episode, where people thought that I am criticizing Arsenal for not being competitive enough. I didn't have the bandwidth to actually reply to those messages. But if you do get any recommendation after this episode, what's the full episode? It's We are not trying to diminish Arsenal, because I'm an Arsenal fan. Where is it? Yeah. So do watch it. I think those two guys got it wrong. But all right. Until next time.